Hey, so I actually just got done watching the Jimmy Dore and Cornel West video that Jimmy did. I believe it was yesterday that he did it. And pretty much Jimmy was just trying to ask him and try to understand exactly where his position was, what were his talking points, because he is running the Green Party and he's not running Democrat. Okay, so he was just trying to figure out, okay, what are the key takeaways? Why should somebody want to vote for you? How are you different from a Republican or more closely to you, a Democrat? What's going on with everything that's happening? And I was shocked, I guess, was really the main thing, because I'm like, oh, you got Cornel West? Okay, let me hear what he's saying, okay? And then you hear and it's like, oh. And then, as Jimmy has said, well, why vote for you when you could just vote for Joe Biden? Same thing, in my opinion, that happened when you had Bernie Sanders, for example. And he was like, Joe Biden, my friend. Joe Biden, my friend. So if this is your friend, and let's say you got good judgment, this is your homeboy, but we know him because he was the former vice president. Well, why not just vote for him if he's that great, right? Because he's not saying you're his friend. So you obviously admire him more, so why not just go ahead and vote for him? But I just wrote some key takeaway points on here that I thought were just kind of interesting. So obviously we know he's running Green Party, and his focus is more on what you call, quote unquote, your identity politics. Obviously he's a black male, okay, so you have the race issue that goes in there, you have the sex issue with the alphabet and all that kind of stuff that's happening, as well as some other kinds of things. And we see that his focus are more on the things that divide us, okay, your religions, your sex, your race, and all that kind of stuff. So it seems like he's focused on just division, and that was really the main thing that he wasn't understanding, that Jimmy was telling him, like, yo, you're focused on all this stuff, which is your identity politics that the Democrats are doing. So I don't understand, why are you even doing that? How about X that out? Let's worry about that later. And let's worry about like class issues and things that everybody can get along with, okay? Because you look at black folks in America, let's just keep it real. What are we at, like 13% right now? So if black people are at 13% right now, okay, and you have white people who make up a large portion of the United States, it would behoove you not to talk about police brutality. I'm not saying that it doesn't matter. Okay, it definitely matters. Police brutality matters, racism, economics, all that kind of stuff matters within the black community. Definitely. Violence, yes, I get that. However, you're not just marketing yourself to this 13% of people. You're marketing yourself to whites, Asians, Hispanics. Asians, you can put the Indian people in there as well. Maybe if you have some natives here, other people who may have come from other countries, whatever the case may be, let's put you over there in one of those race boxes. Fine. Okay. But you're talking about a lot of other people. So if you're saying, yeah, let's talk about this police brutality, Black Lives Matter, and we got it, then you already have a fair amount of people who are already checked out, and they're just like, okay, well, it's some more of this ish. It's more of this Democrat blue, alphabet and all this extra stuff that's going on. Let me just go over here and let me go back to red, or maybe some kind of libertarian party, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things. It's like you need to pick something that everyone can unite on. Well, Alex, okay, we get it. What can we unite on besides what bathroom I can use? Besides what the color of my skin is? What else can we? A UBI, universal basic income. How about universal health care? Don't you need health care? Are you planning on staying 25, 26, 30, 40 years old forever and you're never going to get sick? We don't have that here. And that's something I would love to be able to, let's say I get a job offer and swap to a different job and not have to worry about, oh man, you're gonna lose that health care. So I mean, you got to stay with your employer. Or man, your dental and your vision, they're separate. So I mean, you got to stay with your employer, man. Or oh, they only give, they give you 5 days out of the year for vacation. I mean, you got to stay with your employer, man, because these people don't give you any vacation time or 2 days. So what are you going to do? It's stuff like that. And it's like, one, I should not have to worry about, okay, if I lose my job, then I automatically lose my health care. Nobody should have to worry about that. That is something that everybody can agree upon. When I'm saying everybody, I'm not talking about that 1% over there that's worth $11 million and $30 million and $50 million, $100 million. We ain't talking about them. We're talking about everybody else. Okay. And yes, you should not have to, let's say, you got cancer, or let's say you got whatever debilitating disease or ailment that comes your way. You shouldn't have to worry about, man, I'm going to be homeless. Oh, man, I got diabetes. Poverty now. What? So why not talk about this? That can bring everybody together. White people, black people, Hispanics, Asians. Everybody needs health care. How come we're not talking about something like that can bring unity to one another? Why are we not talking about something like that can, be something that is a commonality amongst everybody? Besides race, which that only affects whoever you are, or sex, it's like, come on, especially with all that kind of stuff that's going on. Also, minimum wage. What are we at federally? We're at $7.25. That's not livable. When you could go and see the average price of an apartment to rent is what, $1,700? How many hours you work in a week? You know what I mean? So it's like, how come that has not been bumped up to, in my opinion, $20 an hour? And everything else could go accustomed to what it's supposed to be at without raising mortgages, rents, food, which still has not gone down since COVID, by the way. Okay, I just went food shopping today, and that is mighty expensive. Gas and all of that. Why not work on, let's increase this, and this could help everybody out. Also, y'all, I love taking a vacation. I want a federally mandated vacation. I want a holiday. Well, how come you got these European countries who are getting 2, 3, 4, 5, some even 6 weeks of paid time off? Meanwhile, your job is offering you, here's 5 days a year. Just shut up and get out of my face. What? Alex, come on. Ain't nobody getting 5 days a year. Okay. Some people don't even get holiday. How is that fair? I remember I was actually on Reddit, and some people who were from like England or wherever, somewhere in the EU, and they were talking about their holiday, and I was like, where are you from? Oh, I'm from wherever, England. I'm like, oh, could you guys get federal? And I was like, can you just explain to me what you're talking about? Because I was like, we don't have that here in America. Whatever your job decides to give you, whether it be 5 days or 6 days or maybe 10 days out of an entire year. I was like, we don't have that. So could you actually explain that to me? And my mind, I was like, because the government gives you X amount of weeks, not days, but weeks. And then your job has an option of giving you some, which the more the merrier. But the fact that you're getting 2, 3, 4 weeks of paid vacation time, come on. How come we don't have that? We're the richest country in the world and we don't have that. But we're not going to talk about that. We're worried about what bathrooms people are using. We're not talking about that. Let's just worry about black issues, even though America's not made up of majority black people, even though black people's backs, but it's not made up of majority of black people. So we have to get other people who are also going to be included in a conversation. Okay. You talk about big pharma, for example, how they're everywhere. You go, I love me some Lifetime. Element, Hallmark, Movies and Mysteries, and Lifetime. I will watch those all the time. If I could, I have done it many times where it's just a straight up binge for me. Okay. I've done it for many years. Okay. Now I look at something like that. every single time a commercial comes on, you have at least 3 commercials where it's talking about get some Rosantics. You could have internal bleeding, you could have bloody vomit, you could have bloody stool, you could faint, you could have a heart attack, you could die. But hey, I mean, you could get rid of your psoriasis. What? And this stuff is just pushed. You find out doctors getting kickbacks, even though that's what I'm supposed to, but they're getting kickbacks, because they're pushing something onto you that you otherwise wanted or really need to have be pushed onto you. But they're doing it anyways. They're not interested in primary care, prevention, give you some holistic things or anything. They're worried about the secondary, more so tertiary, so we can make some more money off of you while we poison your water. That's something I would love, is to not have poisoned water. I don't want to have to filter my water every single day. Got a whole filter for the house, and then I have an additional filter for the water because it didn't taste right when I would drink it. I'm like, something ain't right with this. So now I got a filter, another filter on top of that. That's 1, money, and 2, that's time on some stuff that should already be clean. Recently, I went to New York. I drank it straight from the tap. I was like, this tastes good from the tap. Not zero water good, but I was like, this tastes pretty dang good from the tap. When I was living back in Illinois, it used to be tap water all the time, and it tastes fine. Here? Oh, no. Deregulations. I'm sure that people would agree on on a significant amount of that kind of stuff. But getting back to the big pharma thing, you see that they're everywhere. They control everything. It is like, well, how are you different than, let's say, the Democrats in their pockets, Republicans too? And how are you different from that, though, if you're not even bringing any light to that? You have money up in politics, you have the electoral college. So there's a whole bunch of different things that it's like, we could focus on all of these things, bring everybody together. And then once we bring everybody together, okay, we got this knocked out, this knocked out, this knocked out. And I'm not saying like race issues aren't important. Hey, I'm black, y'all. Okay. I'm not saying race issues are not important. I'm not saying that is not something that we need to be worrying about. But as of now, let's get the things out that are more likely to pass because we'll have more people behind it. And let's worry about just the broad spectrum of people, as opposed to let's be very specific and let's target the alphabet. And you don't agree with it? Get out the way. You don't get out the way. You all the way in the back. Okay, come over here and then let's worry about the alphabet. Let's talk about this over here. Police brutality. Because it's like, well, why again? Why vote for you when I could just vote for demented Biden once again? And Kamala's saying, well, I'll take control. Why vote for you if we could just put him back in there? Or her, however that's going to work out. So that was one of the things, and also something that kind of frustrated me a little bit with this is the fact that is the fact that Jimmy was so passionate about it. And he was very much so trying. He was really trying, and just say the right thing. He was just like, just say it. Just come on now. I know you got it in you. You can't be this oblivious to this stuff. Just say it. Help yourself out, because I'm using my platform of 1.23 million views, subscribers. My videos are getting, what is it, like 100 and at least 100,000 views per on average, I would say. So it's like, not even on average, it's getting more than that. So I have a large audience. Okay. I'm bringing you on here. You're going to tell me how you're different than Joe. You're going to tell me why you're voting for green. What are your policies? What's your agenda? What's in your mind? Why should I want you? But as you've seen the title, and then I was like, let me go watch the video. And then you watch, I think it's like 44 minutes. And then you watch and it's like, oh, that was not an exaggeration. at all. I mean, none of his videos, his thumbnails or titles are exaggerations, but I was like, nah, it can't be. And then it's like, oh no, he's not exaggerating. He's not kidding. He is 100% accurate on what was being said, and it's like, he's trying to help you. Okay. I was thinking, I was like, he has a recipe. You need to make some good you need to make some good banana bread. Okay. So he gives you the recipe. Here's the recipe. All you gotta do is follow it and you're sure to win that blue ribbon. And you're like, nah, I'll go wing it. I remember some stuff from back in the day. What? He's giving you, hey, this is how you can win, or really stand a chance, really have a strong argument, really have a good, strong campaign. Here, just follow it. I don't know about that. Later for that. What? So I was just, it started getting frustrating because it's like, you're trying to, he's a victim of, you're trying to include everyone, but you end up including no one. Oh, I want to target this person over that defect and that one. Oh, you got a dimple? Yeah, we're gonna get all the people with the dimples. Oh, you got a second big toe. We're gonna get okay. You got this. Okay, we're okay. Yeah, but I don't like that person because they got this. All right, then later for you. I don't like this person because they. All right, well later for you then. And then it's like, well, who's in your corner? You know what I mean? Because you just knocked out so many people, and it's like, why? I don't know, yo. It's this whole, why should people vote for you? And it's like, why would anyone vote for you? That would be a wasted vote if they did that. You know what I mean? Just judging off of this, because it's like, it's not, and then it's difficult because he goes and, obviously, like I said, he's black. And he brings that up and, he's like, well, these issues are big for me and this and that and that and third. I was thinking about when he mentioned that, when Cornell was like, well, that's where we're different because for you, the vax was the most important thing or the biggest scandal. Meanwhile, for me, I had, police brutality. I had this over here. I had that over here and this over here. And then Jimmy's like, well, what about Tuskegee? What about that whole thing that went down? Forced mandates, forcing someone to be injected or tricking or whatever, someone to have a vax, injecting them with X, with this thing that went down with us and what went down in the past. And it's like, this was human experimentation, and it's just like, you're later for that. But it's like, I was like, okay, dude. Oh, but yeah, I did appreciate when he brought in Christian Smalls. That was Amazon employee. I think he was asking for better treatment, better PPE stuff, during the row and everything. And Jimmy was like, yo, he wasn't saying like, hey, let's all black people, let's fight the white man. It's like, no, it was, hey, we're all in the same predicament. We're all working here. We're all lower level in seniority. Let's work together to get some ish accomplished. So it's just like, what are we doing? But that was one of the things. Then also Cornell actually said, quote, he said, like, class issues are crucial. Class issues are fundamental, which, yes, that's the main, that should be your main argument. And then everything else, like, how you have those little diagrams where you have like the circle in the middle, then you got all these little branches that, trickle off, and your circle in the middle should be class. And that's what we should be focusing on. The biggest thing. Everything else, we'll worry about that when we get there. But this should be the biggest thing that we're worried about, that we're talking about. He also said class and identity politics are connected, which, yes, they are. Okay. Yes, I understand. Black people are in the position that we are. I'm actually going to be doing a video because I was talking, it was this lake that was in Georgia. I believe it was in Oscarville first is what it was called. And the craziness that happened with that, where long story short, it was a white woman, 19 years old. She was appeared to have been raped and murdered. White people, they were just like, oh, the Negroes did it. Let's go and burn down the churches, burn down, which they did, burn down everything, pitchforks. Let's have the night riders and have everyone come, and we're going to destroy them and this and that and that and third and all that. And they ran them out, and then on their land, their property, all the white people took, 100 acres plus. Like this one guy owned 100 acres. They took all the stuff because they couldn't take anything with them, because they were going to die. Many people died trying to get away from all of them. Then they went to Gainesville, and you had the number one poultry, capital of the world, essentially is what it is, because you had all these people who were in the trade who were good at what they were doing in that area, and they brought all the information and knowledge over. But I get that. Okay, I get it. Yes, we don't have generational wealth because we had a lot of it taken away from us. But again, as being a Black person, we don't make up that much of the United States. Okay, we just simply don't. So we can't run on these kind of topics, because you could have them. You could have them on the third little branch. You could have it. I'm not saying you can't. You can definitely have it. But we do not make up that much. Thus, we are not the majority. Okay? We just simply aren't. I get, yes, our vote is very powerful. Yes, it is. But that's also another thing, because it's just another thing with that. We just don't make up that much. So you need to attack something, have a topic come to mind that is more for the broader base audience, which would be everyone else. You have to have something for Black people. You have to have something for white people. You have to have something for Asian people. You have to have something for Indian people. You have to have something for natives. And what can we all agree upon? Universal health care, minimum wage increase, have a stall on rents, make it so that BlackRock and all these other companies cannot buy single homes and all this other stuff, and actually work on things that can quickly better your life. But it's like, oh, well, but this stuff will better my life. I get that. I get it. But that does not appeal to the broader audience. That's the thing. And I was just like, I I know I'm younger than you, and I know you're smarter than me. They all are, they're smarter than me. And I'm like, I get what Jimmy's saying, but you don't. I was like, I don't get that, yo. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. It was just something that I'm like, he's giving it to you. He's literally, here's the recipe. Here's the recipe for success, or as much as you can get. Because, people may still be like, oh, no, he a Negro. You know what I mean? But still, you would then appeal to some of those other people. And, you may even get your alphabets in there. You may even get a good amount of Black people voting, even some white people that you may say are white supremacists or whatever the case may be. You could go and get them to vote and be like, you know what? This dude's speaking truth. You know what? He got my vote. But at the end of the day, it's like, why pick you when you could just go and pick Biden? I don't know. I felt like I really enjoyed the video, the interview, I guess you could say. I thought it was very good, but you could definitely see the love and mutual respect that they have for each other. But it's just like, one obviously is not listening, and one is literally saying, here is success. Just take it out of my hand. Hey, I greatly appreciate if you could support me. Simply go to ebay.com. In the search bar, type in Latrice Limited, click on shops, and then support me. I have a wide variety of items on there, many of my own personal Latrice Limited items, such as candles, bath bombs, soaps, essential oil blends, lingerie robes, so much stuff. I even have men's ties and comic books on there. Definitely support me, and do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.